Hello students, my name is Steve Larson. I am going to be your instructor for this upcoming semester of Math 121. I welcome you to the class and I hope you'll find it to be an enjoyable experience. As you can see, I have a missionary name tag on. I am called as an education missionary here at BYU Hawaii, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. I always say that any day that I get to talk about statistics is a good day. And so I'm looking forward to this semester and looking forward to get to know a little bit about each of you as we go forward here. This is an introductory slide to get us started with a few instructions. I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint here and mention a few things. Some of you may be feeling a little bit like this, that why am I taking this class? Why do I need statistics? And others may already have a real good feeling for that. One of the things I love about statistics is its universal applicability to just about any field or endeavor where it involves the collecting of data. And we're going to be talking about that, collecting and analyzing and making the most of information in data form. And so it's useful just about anywhere. In fact, that's one of the things that got me interested in the whole topic. Back when I was looking to enter school and so on, was the idea of using data to make decisions and so on. And I always thought, well, maybe I could go work for a Major League Baseball team if I majored in statistics. At the time, I didn't know that much about it, but I signed on knowing that I liked working with numbers and so on. So anyway, more about that. This is we'll have more about that later. This is a little bit of a biographical information about me to get that out of the way. I come from Texas, a little town called Humble, Texas, which is just outside of Houston, Texas. Lived there for a long time, since 1980 actually, so that's pretty much become home. I grew up in northern Utah in Logan and went to school at BYU. As you can see, I got bachelor's and master's degrees in statistics at BYU in Provo, and I entered the field of statistics from day one because of some interest that it had for me. It's a field that a lot of people get into after doing other things and finding out that they liked the whole idea of data collection and analysis and so on. My wife and I, you can see my wife Janet there, we are here serving together as missionaries. She's serving in the registrar's office most every day. And we have 5 children and 10 grandchildren that are spread all around all across the mainland in the U.S. And we enjoy them very much, and we try to keep in touch with them via Zoom and other methods. I worked in industry as a statistician, a professional statistician for 36 years, I believe it was, in the company called DuPont. Some of you have no doubt heard of that company. It's a pretty large company, primarily located on the East Coast. We went out to Delaware for 7 years and then transferred down to Texas after that, and have been there well, really since 1987. I think I mentioned 89. We moved within Texas in 87 to 89. Some of my areas of expertise are just data analysis in general, designing experiments. I did a lot of that in DuPont. Environmental statistics, it's all kinds of statistical software. If you have statistical software, I've probably used it before and know something about it. And I also did a lot of work in what would we call quality management or quality control within my work at DuPont. After I retired from DuPont, I worked for 3 years as an adjunct instructor, teaching a class very much like this one for 3 years at a place called Sam Houston State. Sam Houston State is a little university in South Texas that has a huge criminal justice program, and all of their criminal justice majors, in addition to several other majors, but the criminal justice program was huge. They had to take a statistics class, and so I taught a class that did a lot of examples from the world of criminal justice back then. And one of the results of all of that is when we started looking at going on a mission, we ended up being called as education missionaries here at BYU Hawaii. Some interests like spending time with family, hiking. I like reading. I do read a lot of books. I like strategy games. If any of you are interested in that topic, we play all kinds of strategy games. I used to have a regular game night with my friends back in Texas, where we would play the most complicated strategy games that we could find. And I'm a big sports fan. Like just about all kinds of sports. Some as I played back in the day. I still play a little bit of tennis and played a lot of other sports, but mostly I'm a sports fan these days. And enjoy keeping track of things like baseball and football and basketball and so on. Okay, a few things that you need to know for the beginning of this class are, first of all, we'll be using a Pearson textbook. It's shown in your syllabus, the textbook, but the best way to get the textbook in most cases would be to register for it online through Pearson. You'll be able to get to the textbook that way, at least an online version of it. But here's how you get registered through Pearson. And many of you probably already know this if you've had another class that uses Pearson. So when you open Canvas, you'll click on the link. It's right below the modules link in Canvas, and it says Vital Source link. And our Vital Source link will be for Pearson. And the directions should pop right up for registering for MyMathLab. At some point, it will ask you, do you want to opt out? And that would be a very bad idea. If you opt out, you won't get the negotiated rate for the textbook, which I think is shown on the next slide, and all of the homework and so on, the MyMathLab, everything that you'll need in Pearson is at a negotiated rate. The syllabus and the calendar for the course are both on Canvas. Your grade is going to be a combination of assignments on Canvas and Pearson, MyMathLab. The two platforms don't talk to each other particularly well. In other words, there's some manual things that I will have to do going back and forth to bring the grades from Pearson into Canvas. So Pearson will be the platform that we'll use for most graded items, except for a few extra credit items. And so those grades then, occasionally after each exam, I'll bring them back over to Canvas. After each midterm exam, then you'll see some accurate grades on Canvas. But otherwise, you'd have to look on Pearson to get a pretty good idea of what your grades are going to be. One thing you should know, we are going to be going on a whirlwind tour this semester. And if you've taken classes in the spring, you probably know this already, but we go at twice the speed that you do in a fall or winter semester. I like for things like statistics to have a little bit of time to soak in, but that's not going to happen this semester. We have to go pretty fast. We don't have a lot of choice if we're going to go through the material this semester. And so I would just tell you that you need to keep up. And if you get behind, it's going to be hard to catch up. So I recommend that you keep up with the homework. It's going to be outlined for you pretty well on the calendar that we have, what things are available, what things are due and when they are due. And if you keep up, you shouldn't have too much problem. And of course, I'll be available to answer questions. But one resource that you have is the BYU Hawaii Math Lab. And the Math Lab is available both online. This is particularly useful where we've got a remote class this semester, or it's you can also come there live. It's located in a temporary building called P3. There's 3 buildings there across the street from the Heber J. Grant building, called P1, P2, and P3, and the Math Lab is there in P3. That also happens to be where my office is. So I'll post some office hours at some point. I haven't done that yet, but I will in the near future, where you can either come see me or call me, and you'll know that I'll be available. But you can also send me an email at any time with any questions you may have, or any concerns or difficulties you may be having, and I'll be happy to answer those. So in the Canvas first module there, you will see some information about the tutoring that's available for free and links that you might need to access that. You will also get an email from the Math Lab at some point, and you can look for that. That'll happen very early in the semester for any lab tutoring. I happen to be one of the supervisors of the Math Lab, the tutors that are here, and I know they're very qualified and very good. And if they come across something they don't know how to answer, they know where to go to get answers. So you'll find them to be very helpful, I think, in most cases. If you have questions that come up, you need to work through some of the issues related to the homework or preparing for the exams or for the quizzes and so on. For this class, you'll need a calculator, and it should be it can be a small calculator. The best thing is a calculator that has all the standard stuff on it. Plus, you see the one on the right there, it has a square root sign. That's a very useful thing to have in statistics, is the ability to take square roots. We'll do that at a time or two here in class. The TI-84 calculator, the graphing calculator, I know a lot of students have that. That will also work. It does everything we need it to do and a lot more. But a small scientific calculator is certainly sufficient for this class. There's also a calculator / spreadsheet in the Pearson area called StatCrunch, and we'll talk about that. There's some information about that. It's very good, really. It'll do everything that we need it to do the homework, and StatCrunch will be allowed on all quizzes and tests, so it's a good thing to learn how to use that. If you look at it on Canvas, you'll see that I put some instructions out there for using StatCrunch, in addition to some information on TI-84s, should you want to pursue that. Okay, here's the information, more specific information about Pearson. You pay $58.82. I verified that. That is the fee for homework and textbook access this semester. The first homework assignment will be due, I think that's wrong. That's supposed to be Friday. I need to correct that, but I'm going to just tell you that right now. You'll need to register for the online homework soon by clicking on that Vital Source link that I talked about earlier on Canvas. Also in Canvas, there'll be some extra credit quizzes, and it will help boost your grade a little bit if you do all the extra credit quizzes. At the end of the course, that'll give you about a 2% boost in your grade, which, you know, everyone, doesn't hurt for anybody to have that. And the first extra credit quiz is going to be on Saturday. That's sort of a get to know you quiz where you just answer a few questions about yourself, and we'll collect some data from that. And finally, assignments are going to be spread out throughout the week. You'll see the assignment calendar right there up front on Canvas. They have due dates anywhere from Monday to Friday. There's actually usually something due just about every day. Yeah, but you're certainly welcome to work ahead on that. If there's something due on Saturday, you don't have to wait till Saturday to do it. You can do it earlier than that in the week. And all the due dates and times where it says you have until midnight to finish it, that means midnight Hawaii time. And the assignments and the quizzes are there to help you learn the material, and so you can do them and redo them and keep trying again until you get 100% up to the due date. And after the due date, there'll be a penalty of 20% a day on assignments and 33% a day for quizzes. So do those things on time. And there will be 4 exams. That's just about one every other week here, since we have about an 8-week semester. During the exams, you get 180 minutes. Thank you. Sorry about that. During 2 days, a choice of 2 days to work the exam. And we'll use the exam launcher, if you will, Proctorio, to do that. Sometimes people have problems with Proctorio. And when we get to that, we'll deal with it. And Proctorio requires a computer with a camera and audio and a decent online connection. So if you don't have that at home, you'll need to figure out how to make that happen. I think there are places here on campus where that can happen. So thank you very much. That's an introduction to get us started, and more to come as we go forward. We're looking forward to this semester with you.